5 News.
If you were many of, I mean, we had phone calls left and right coming into the newsroom last night wondering what on Earth or out of Earth,
what out of Earth
was this stuff coming towards us. Well, dozens of you called in around 10:30 last night reporting seeing these lights streaking across the sky, and they came from all over the state.
And today we have a clearer picture as to exactly what it was. Contrary to what a lot of us thought, it was not a meteor shower, but rather space junk re-entering the atmosphere. And if you're anything like us, you're wondering what in the world does that mean?
What is it?
We brought in the director of Clark Planetarium, Seth Jarvis, here with us this morning to explain exactly what in the world this stuff is. Because no, the sky's not falling. No aliens,
right? Not ending.
This is sort of a natural
right. Not the end of the world, but the sky does sometimes fall. Space junk is a real problem. There's natural space junk, meteors, meteorites, that sort of thing. But what we saw last night was a Chinese rocket booster launched April 5th, and this is a natural, frequent occurrence. It's just that it doesn't always happen over a populated area when there's a lot of people watching.
Now, we do have a picture of the Chinese rocket. So this is what people saw in the sky over Utah last night.
That's freaky, though.
We have a picture of the Chinese rocket as well that I want to show. So this is the rocket when it was...
Yeah, this is the Changzheng. I don't think it's exact that one, but close enough. Point is, it's a two-stage Chinese satellite launch system. Their launch facility is in the Gobi Desert, sort of north-central China. It was launched April 5th. It's normal for the boosters to stay in space for a few weeks and then eventually be pulled by friction in the Earth's atmosphere until they burn up. We knew that this was going to enter the Earth's atmosphere. This was a planned event. But when the astronomers say we know when it's coming down, they know plus or minus several hours. But if you're orbiting the Earth every 90 minutes, plus or minus several hours means it's going around the world a few times within the margin of error. It just happened to come down over the western United States last night.
And it just breaks up as it's coming
through? People thought it was coming down over Draper. No, this was happening 60 miles overhead, somewhere over, northern Arizona.
Really?
Yeah. Because it's so high up in the sky, we can see it from a long distance.
Feet. Right. I mean, people in California were watching it. People in Nevada were watching it. It was fairly low on the horizon here. We were flooded with Facebook, Twitter contacts, phone calls. And the good news is, as soon as we see it, we knew immediately that that's a re-entering spacecraft, and then it's an easy enough thing to look up what it was.
Does it all burn off by the time it hits the ground? I mean, we should show some of these examples.
What is this?
So this is natural. This is natural space junk. This is a nickel-iron meteorite, very common. And these things fall to the Earth all the time. They're basically left over from the construction of the solar system 4.5 billion years ago.
This is awfully heavy, guys.
So that's Mother Nature's space junk. This stuff falls. This, however, is an example.
This probably weighs, what, 15 pounds?
More like 20.
Yeah,
more like 20, yeah. But this is an example of man-made space junk. This was a deep space cosmic ray experiment launched in the 1980s. And because of the Challenger explosion in '86, it wasn't retrieved, and it was within a month of coming down as a piece of space junk. It would have made a flaming image in the sky for someone else, but it was recovered by shuttle astronauts in 1990.
And that's more akin to what we were actually
seeing. This is man-made space junk. What you saw last night, what people all over West saw last night, was an enormous empty aluminum can. The fuel was empty. It was low density, big, about the size of a school bus, entering the atmosphere at 17,000 miles an hour and just vaporizing.
I'm surprised it doesn't burn quicker, though. Like, we just see a quick flash and it's gone.
Well, it survived for like 40 seconds. That's pretty quick after you've been doing what it's doing. So, yeah, it's just simply that's what satellites and rocket boosters look like when they re-enter the atmosphere. Meteors, like the Perseid meteor shower we're about to have, they happen pretty fast, 1, 2, sometimes maybe 3 seconds. When you see something streaking across the sky and taking 40, 50 seconds, that's a satellite coming back to Earth.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, you see this video, though. I can understand why so many people were freaked out. If I had seen that with my own eyes, I'd be running for cover.
It's a long way away. It's way high up. They happen all the time.
I see too many movies.
Yeah, you can see why we freak people out, right?
Bottom line, we are safe. Yeah. Appreciate you coming in and giving us some of the knowledge, both
my pleasure.
Man-made and natural space junk.
Space junk is a real thing.
Yeah, very fascinating. Appreciate the insight.